on, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. You made it.
Yeah, finally. I had some technical difficulties.
So that's what we're going to call them. So how did the round go today?
Much better than it has in a while. It was real windy, but it was good. It was good. I took down the other guys. So
Oh, of course, man. Of course. How did Jeremiah play?
pretty good. Yeah, he had some good holes, some bad holes, like we all do. So I don't know what he shot score wise. I won't ask him, but
I just want to know, did you take some of his money?
I did. Yeah.
Well, good. I'm definitely glad I didn't play then, because you know what? You took enough of my money last time.
It was a friendly game.
How was the course looking?
Oh, it was great, man. The greens are running a lot faster than it looks. Everything's real dormant. Grass is pretty crispy right now, so it was good. It was fun.
Well, good, man. I'm glad to hear that. All right. So I kind of introed you a little bit. I was telling everybody, why don't you go ahead and tell us how you made your way to San Antonio?
It's a fun story. I went to golf school in Florida, in like the Orlando area. I was in engineering school in Daytona Beach and decided that I wanted to kind of get my foot into the golf industry, and I wasn't really enjoying engineering very much, as it were. So I ended up going to golf school, and then got out of golf school. I couldn't really find a job that I was interested in at a golf course. Didn't really have much interest in working in the shop or, running outside operations or anything like that. All I really wanted to do was teach and play some on the side, and got an opportunity to move out to Texas maybe a year and a half after I got out of golf school, and that was that. So once we got here, met a couple people and ended up getting a gig teaching golf when I was like 21 years old, and that was like 2011.
So it's been about a good 10 years or what?
Been a decade or so, yeah. It's pretty wild. It's been a wild and crazy ride, golf wise, for sure.
Well, you're known around town by some of your peers as you're the golf pro that likes to have a good time.
I always love to have a good time. Always love to have a good time. I don't know if that's good or bad, but
oh man, that's a great thing, dude. Great thing.
Yeah.
So how did it all start as you got into this game of golf here in town? I know you had told me you had worked at Golf Tech, and I don't know if I wasn't too sure if how did it all start? Because I know you're from watching some of your videos and just hearing how you were speaking the other day about golf swings and stuff. You get super technical, and I'm just like, you know what? This guy's a golf nerd. This guy's a nerd about the golf swing.
Yeah. That's exactly right, actually. I don't really consider myself to be to really fall in line with who your typical golf pro is. I took some lessons from a golf pro back in the day, and he would basically just tell me these very cliche things and not really have any way to back them up, factually. So anytime I was having a problem, it was, oh, you're not practicing the right way, or you're not doing enough of this, or you're not doing enough of that, or whatever. And I can never really get good answers. And the more I research things online, the more I found that like a lot of the instruction industry was very subjective in its preferences for how the game should be taught and how the game should be played. And kind of saw that there was an opportunity there. And from that day forward, I started researching the golf swing and just started becoming a nerd about it. I read lots of books, pretty much any book I could get my hands on, did a lot of, online research, a lot of forum activity, a lot of networking with other golf pros, and figuring out a lot of people who are a lot smarter than me, kind of using some of the things that they'd figured out to provide more of a factual basis for people to understand what to do to get better at golf, rather than rely on kind of old time cliches and generalizations that sort of have been prevalent in a lot of past instruction. Nothing against past instruction or anything. It's just more the way that I started to go about it. So
now in talking with you, you have never really been like the pro that's been on the range or at a golf course, right? That's what I thought was so interesting about your story. I said, because you've pretty much been like, I guess at Topgolf, I guess, what is it considered, like hitting bays, I guess, or is that really what the term is, or what?
yeah, well, so I started out at Golf Tech, which is an indoor golf teaching facility. Fantastic company, and I was with them for like 7-ish years. And then post them, I found Topgolf, which again kind of has a beta hidden. You're hitting into a field. We have some top tracer technology, a lot of cool things. But basically, as long as I had somewhere to strike a golf ball, a lesson could be taught. So I learned pretty early on that I didn't really have much of a want for kind of the traditional golf course route, which nothing against it at all. I just only really had interest in teaching. So I found I've been able to kind of find jobs that have lined that sort of direction up for me thus far in my career. So been in the right place at the right time a few too many times.
Well, hey, that's the name of that's your game though, bro. That's the name of your game.
Yeah, man. There's someone watching over me there, definitely pushing me in the right direction sometimes. So.
Well, I think what a lot of people, what attracts a lot of people to you, and I guess not only as your clients or your students, it's just the people around you. It's your fun-loving attitude. It seems like that's like you kind of put a lot of people at ease. They're like, yeah, you might be a 3 handicap, and you might have took $18 from me the first time we played, but you know what? I say, you know what? I don't mind losing money to this guy. I can lose some more money to him again.
Yeah, you know what? If you like watching the fish in the aquarium, you don't tap the glass, right? We don't want to disturb the ecosystem. We just want to let people hang out. So, if money is going to be wagered, bets are going to be made. It's all in good fun. And, if I lose, I pay up just as quickly as anyone else pays me. So, and trust me, I lose all the time. So
I want to find the guys that are beating you. That's what I want to do. I want to find those guys.
Yeah, well, I don't tell people about those days. So good luck. But I'll say it's mostly in handicap tournaments.
Oh, that's good.
And mostly in Peoria scoring.
Oh yeah, when you lost, yeah. What did y'all win? What did y'all go in our Four Bros event?
Yeah, we shot 66, and it changed to like 73, and we ended up we went for tied for first and second to last out of 10 groups or 12 groups or whatever we had that day. It's fantastic. Tied for first to second to last.
Dude, I know, it's lovely, bro. That's perfect. All right, so tell me, I guess one of the big questions that a lot of people always say is, you always hear people talking trash, about golf, right? And right now, golf is it's booming right now. So as the courses are getting packed, I know you were telling me the other day that at Topgolf, and I guess the industry that you're currently in right now, What are some of the struggles that you're going through with COVID right now?
Yeah. So COVID sort of knocked me on my butt a little bit. We had a nice little program developing and getting bigger and better. I'd hired another teaching pro to help teach some lessons and stuff at Topgolf. And then COVID struck, and we essentially all got furloughed for 3 months. And I essentially had to, kind of start all over with rescheduling everyone and getting everyone back in the door. And then everything just kind of slowed down. There were a lot of people who were a little hesitant to come in at first, even though we're sort of back up and running now. Topgolf's done a lot of really, really awesome things to help sanitize all the bays, creating lots of different procedures and trainings for making everything just as absolutely safe as possible. And they did a fantastic job. And people have come in to see that, and they see that, and it sort of sets them apart. I also do a lot of my teaching away from like the general public within the building. One, because students just generally feel more comfortable that way. And two, the less we use bays where other people have been in, the safer it is, I think. So yeah, man, COVID's fun, but we pushed our way through it, and now we're on to winter snowstorms.
And you're from Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm a warm weather guy.
You're a warm weather creature.
Yeah, if it's sub 50, I won't play golf. Not worth it.
Now that's one thing I noticed. We were going to play at the Hyatt last weekend, and everyone was saying, okay, there's all these, going to be some crazy temperatures on Monday, and everyone, I'm going to battle it. I'm going to battle through. Freaking A-Rod. A-Rod works in A-Rod. He's the assistant superintendent there at the Hyatt. And
he knows.
His course is freaking looking awesome, and
right.
Especially through all the COVID and all the freezing. Mm-hmm. And I saw him one day there. We were there, I think, playing in the 50s, and this dude's in freaking shorts. And I'm like, sure, his legs are all chafed, and he's looking like Ashy Larry, but he's over there just like calm and cool, like nothing. I'm like, dude, I'm a little bitch when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Me too. I'm not acclimated at all. Doesn't work for me.
Well, I think this is Jeremiah said, yeah, he tapped the glass today.
What's up, Maya? I hope all is well, buddy. I hope your stay and play is doing good for you.
Oh man, shoot. Hey, dude, he's looking like Father of the Year right now, bro. He's in the running for Father of the Year. He's back in the lead.
And Husband of the Year.
Well, now he is. Earlier, he wasn't.
You should have heard all the great things he was saying about his wife and his kids today. He just didn't have enough good things to say about them. He's a fantastic, fantastic guy, family man, great husband.
Oh, dude, how much did he pay you, or how much did he lose to you to say those kind words?
That's from the bottom of my heart. It's nothing but from my mouth to God's ears. It's truth.
Oh, so that's a direct line, bro. It's a direct line, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
All right, bro. So tell me, what are some of the big points that you touch on as you're working with one of your students? I know when I spoke to you way back when, and even looking through a lot of your videos, I guess you're real big. Obviously, you always talk. You were talking about the fundamentals and things of that nature. What is your I guess go-to teaching point that you really try to focus on?
Yeah. So in a lot of my my years and a lot of my experience, I seen golfers struggle a lot with just their overall concepts and their overall idea of what they should be trying to do, right? I think it gets very convoluted as to what is a variable and what is a preference and sort of what is fundamental to playing golf in a functional way, right? So over the years, I've become pretty good friends with Andy Plummer and Mike Bennett and a lot of the Stack and Tilt family. They've done a lot of training and a lot of spent a lot of time helping me get a lot better at teaching golf and understanding kind of what's going on in the swing. And the biggest thing that I've learned about playing golf and teaching golf kind of goes toward the three fundamentals of their system, which is that all good golfers basically control where they hit the ground. They control the contact where they kind of hit the ball in the face. They control the direction that the ball goes. They do that in a pretty predictable fashion, and then they control kind of how far the ball goes. Okay, so the majority of golfers, especially beginning level or recreational level golfers, really need to work a lot on kind of like that first fundamental of golf, meaning controlling where the club strikes the ground relative to the golf ball, being able to control the low point of their swing. That comes in over and over and over in every single lesson I've almost ever given to any sort of a recreational golfer. All good golfers do that. There's never ever been a good golfer who couldn't control where the club strikes the ground, right? There are some stylistic differences and some movement patterns that are slightly different and how people do that. But the fact that they do it is really the important concept to sort of take away from that. So, credit where credit is due to those guys. Like I said, I take a lot of stuff from other people who are way smarter than I am, and kind of been able to sort of use it, and it sort of clicks in people's head. They're like, oh, I never thought about it that way. I guess, if I can have these different grips, and I can kind of have these different setups, and I can have, some of these different swing pieces, but I still need to be able to control where I hit the ground, control how far the golf ball goes, and be able to predict relatively accurately kind of what the ball flight's going to be. And every problem that a golfer has kind of falls into one of those buckets in some way or the other, and kind of figure out which one they're the worst at and work on that.
Now, somebody, I mean, you've seen my swing. I really don't like my swing one bit. And, but I like to think I'm not the type of golfer that's a range guy. Like, I don't like to sit. I love it. Don't get me wrong. If I could go to the range like every day, I would, but I just don't. I'm not that guy that just likes to sit out there and pound balls and loves his swing and records swings and post it. No, because you're rarely going to see me do that. But some guy I was playing a while back, I think it was in the summer, and at GCT, and I played with some two randos, and this one guy goes, "Oh, hey man, you got that stack and tilt going on," and I'm over here like, I do not. I guess, man. I don't know. I don't know what that is. And so as you say, somebody how their impact of the ground or how they're hitting the ground, I'm like, I'm kind of dumb to things like that.
Sure. Yeah. There's a lot of misconceptions as to what stack and tilt is. It's just sort of a polarizing name and a polarizing brand, if you will. They've done a lot of sort of exposure and done a lot of things that in magazines, and on the internet, where there have been some things written or some concepts, said about them that kind of gives the wrong impression as to what it is. So most of the time, whenever I hear people, most of the time, whenever I hear people say, "Oh, you do stack and tilt, or you have a stack and tilt swing," they kind of just have this idea that all your weight just stays on the front foot, and you hit down, and it's good for short irons, and it's bad for driver, and it's bad for your back, and it's this and it's that and the other, and then when you press them a little bit more about it, you figure out that they actually don't know anything about it. It's just kind of one of those passing things. They're like, oh, well, oh yeah, I've heard about that, or I read that one magazine article that one time, 10 years ago, whenever it was published, and The cool thing about it is like there really hasn't been another brand in the golf instruction space that has stood up to the amount of scrutiny that Andy Plummer and Mike Bennett have in the long run. And it's, in my opinion, it's one of the most endearing things about their system and about the way they are as people and the way they teach golf. Is um, they're very willing and generous with their information and their time, and uh, it's pretty amazing to watch those guys move a golfer through the different stages of the golf lesson and or kind of through their development, and being able to describe things in a relatively consistent and accurate manner, right? So it's just one of those things where it's a brand that is known, but it's not something that's known about.
Yeah,
That
that I
makes
get
sense.
that. Yeah, yeah, it totally makes sense. I guess it's something that you hear, or you hear the certain type or style, and you hear it like you stated for the most part through passing or YouTube, or
Mhm.
someone makes a reference at it, but it's like we don't know the intricacies that makes it up. And I'm sure as working in simulators, working in golf bays, I guess as you do that, what kind of sets you apart, or how are you able to, I guess, kind of be on par or even be better than some of the pros that do have access to courses or do have access to, like, say, grass ranges or wide open ranges?
Yeah, I mean, so really, in my view, if I can't measure it in some way, shape, or form, I don't really want to talk about it in a golf swing. So I generally tend to stay away from over generalized sort of cliches when it comes to teaching things like that. After spending years and years in a bay, measuring swings in 3D and measuring ball flights, being able to kind of lay a template out for a certain student relative to what their pattern or their goal level is. They're, here in their game and they want to get here. And we kind of lay out a plan for how they do that. And a lot of that comes from my experience in doing that over time. Whereas, a lot of people's golf lesson experience might be very, um, scattered. They might take lessons for a couple of weeks at a time and then go play for a year, or go to different pro, different pro, different pro, and then it really kind of lay out a plan and kind of go after it in sort of a long term fashion. And working on your golf swing is, it's kind of like going to the gym. You don't really notice yourself getting stronger rep by rep by rep, but 3 months down the road, you all of a sudden lift something that you couldn't do when you started, and you're like, I didn't even notice. That's kind of how changing your golf swing is, and getting people to sort of see that and help them understand more about why they're trying to do what they're trying to do, um, sort of helps the buy-in a lot. And I think I've been able to sort of set myself apart um, to a small extent, and being able to help people understand what their patterns are in the long run, rather than just constantly giving them a checklist of things they're doing wrong. That makes sense. Oh, you're
Okay, there you go.
muted, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
All
go.
right, I have a good question right here. Do you use the top golf balls when teaching?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now,
Um,
is there some
why not?
is there something in the golf balls that it's able to pick it up? Because I know it kind of gives you that little monitor, or it gives you kind of like a reading, especially with the new updated system, right? That I guess y'all have had. I guess I don't know how long it's been, the past year or two, or what.
Yeah, so there's a couple different systems that sort of run at Topgolf at the same time. So the first system would be every golf ball has an RFID chip in the middle of it, and whenever it comes out of the ball dispenser in the bay, it sort of registers which ball that is. And then when you hit that ball into a target, it'll gonna go down to the bottom of the target. It'll hit another sensor there that'll read that same ball. It'll throw it into the system as to where it went in, which target, how many points that was, and where that ball came from. and shoot a score back to the K panel that's in the bay, right? And then secondarily, there's a camera system that sort of tracks the flight of the golf balls, sort of within that little scope of the Topgolf range, and that would be the Top Tracer technology, and um, it is able to sort of measure the ball's flight and then digitize sort of a virtual response on a screen as to kind of what the ball flight was overall. So the Top Golf balls are a little bit flight restricted whenever it comes to hitting a lot of the longer clubs. I've noticed that the distances are pretty much the same out to like 125-ish yards, and then once you start picking up the swing speed a little bit, the ball really starts to spin a lot and kind of just falls out of the sky. And the back of our net is only 220, so whenever you kind of you play, we have virtual courses that you can play. I guess we'll talk about that a little bit later. It sort of kind of boosts the ball speed a little bit for you and to kind of give you a little bit more realistic distances. And you kind of saw that there. I guess whenever you came to play, like a week, 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
So
I really like
it's pretty cool.
I really like that feature that y'all added, because I think for guys like me who fell in love with Topgolf because it was in Houston or Dallas, and I thought it was like God's gift to golf. I really did. I mean, it was God's gift to guys who love to go to the range and want just that little bit extra, that better atmosphere, that a little bit nightlife, hey, you could take, it's perfect for a date. It is, well, I mean, if I pound the golf ball like you do, it'd be great, for a date.
Mm-hmm.
I'd come out looking like a freaking stud.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I love Topgolf for sure. I'm like, if you put me in a social situation that is fun and involves golf, and when I'm not working, if we have a drink or two while I'm doing that, those are situations that I generally shine in. I'm good at being social. I'm good at having a couple drinks, and I'm good at hitting the golf ball. Relatively good.
Well, I think that's where you struggle, is the couple drinks section. It's just I think you like to exceed that.
Not when I'm at work, buddy. Not when I'm at work.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not when you're at work. When you're in a social situation, So when you add that, you get super social.
Yeah, man. If it's within the context of the day, I'm not opposed to it. Try to maintain some level of professional credibility here.
All right, Mike. So tell me. All right, here we go. I got another comment right here, because I guess because sometimes these users don't show up just because. So I'm constantly checking on my phone, checking on my iPad to see who's commenting on these things, because sometimes they don't pop up on my screen, but they pop up in another group. All right, so I worked at a facility, Minnesota Topgolf, for summer, and the chip in there, the balls are a little bit heavier and not as far as you would play on the course. And so as you're instructing, or someone's hitting in your bays and hitting those balls, are you able to kind of, I guess, put them at ease when they're not getting their distance? Because you know what? Hey, like, I try to squeeze every damn ounce, every yard that I can from my clubs. And when we went to go play there the other day, and I said, hey, this club normally goes 205 and it's only going 182 today. And I said, is it me, or is it the cold, or what?
Yeah, it was 30 degrees outside.
Hey, but we had the warmers.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't speak to how much the golf ball weighs or not, but I do know how far I hit the golf ball on the course and how far I hit the golf ball at work, and I do it every single day. And I'm a pretty high level golfer, and I think that the distances that the golf ball goes are plenty fine for us to make some similar comparisons as to if you're doing certain things better or worse in your swing, right? So the idea that the only thing that matters is how far your ball goes when you're at Topgolf on any given day isn't really important in the long scheme of things. So if you come to me and you're struggling and you say, I'm making bad contact and I'm slicing everything, I don't have to know how far the golf ball goes to help you with those problems, right? Conversely, if I start out measuring your first shots using the Topgolf balls and the top tracer, and let's say your 7-iron is 20 yards, 30 yards a slice, and it's going 107 yards, and you're doing that pretty consistently, and by the end of the hour, you're hitting it 130 yards, and it's slicing a lot less or drawing. No matter what ball we're using, I think we're getting to a place where we can agree that you're moving in the right direction swing wise, if those were your goals. That is anecdotal evidence, as it will, but it happens every single day, all the time, and it's just kind of getting to the point of figuring out what's important, what's not, in my opinion. You're muted.
Thank you, man.
You'll get the hang of this podcast thing soon enough, I'm sure.
I'm gonna tell you because I have 2 different headsets that I'm trying to figure out, and then I had somebody texting me that, hey, your voice sounds muffled on it, and I'm like, okay, I had the wrong headset on. Thank you. So I went without it. I switched. You know what? Hey, you threw me off. I was on a time schedule. You threw me off by you being 10 minutes late. So you know what? So I'm not blaming you, but you had a lot to do. You had a lot to do with this.
Yeah, well, add it to the list.
Hey, no, you made an entrance, right? You made an entrance.
I needed to give you time to build it up.
All right, so here I got a couple of questions right here for you. I got Jason Miranda. I'm sure we know Jason. He's one of our 4 bros.
Yeah.
What challenges do you have teaching at Topgolf? And we kind of touched on some of those, but I guess, and this is where I kind of want to lead to that stigma, because there is the stigma about, hey, this is Topgolf. Oh, it's just a bigger version of monster golf, putt golf, and I'm like, no, it's not. Or oh, you don't bring your clubs to Topgolf, and I'm like, guy, what I paid for these. Let me see. What I paid for these.
I bring my clubs everywhere.
What I paid for these Mizunos. Oh, Mizunos.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh yeah, they're coming everywhere with me. They fly first class. My wife doesn't fly first class, but my clubs do. Okay.
We'll cut that. We'll cut that part.
No, she knows already. She knows already.
You.
Like my bags are already packed. My golf clubs are already packed before hers are.
That's fun.
So what do you think are some of the biggest challenges?
So, as it's sort of a general question in the sense of my actual physical challenges in giving a lesson at Topgolf, or more in the realm of the general teaching business at Topgolf in general.
I think maybe what it's maybe the haves and the have-nots are kind of like the pros and cons. I guess maybe how about that, the pros and cons.
Yeah. So the majority of the clientele that I'm exposed to at Topgolf on a daily basis is definitely going to fall into more of your beginner or recreational category. I do have a handful of players who are single-digit handicaps and probably beat me on any given day on the golf course. Honestly, have a couple high school kids that are doing pretty good, and never really had any direction before they met me, and I've been with them for a couple of years. So, the good things that I'm really being able to kind of expose a lot of new golfers to golf and get them into the game sort of in a way where I, in my opinion, is a little less intimidating than the typical route into golf. I think putting a new golfer on a 300 or 400 yard golf hole and giving them the longest club in the bag and saying go is kind of the worst way to help someone learn and progress. I mean, trial and error is a way to learn golf, but being able to do it in sort of I don't want to call it sterile environment, but like a consistent, stable environment where we have the same lie every time. We have the same reference points in space around us, kind of have a lot of the same lines in front of us. That's kind of why you see someone when they're at the range, like, oh, I hit my 7-iron pretty good. But you see that they're able to sort of calibrate a lot of their motion based on their spatial reference cues, if you will. And sort of being able to calibrate that same motion over and over and over, and being able to teach and work at a place where all those lines are pretty consistent in my opinion, as a pro and helps out in the lesson arena. And then being able to expose that to a lot of brand new golfers is also just a double plus. And honestly, people might have a certain conception here or there about the lessons at Topgolf, but I'm pretty full. There's lots and lots and lots of people who come to Topgolf, and lots and lots of people who are taking lessons at Topgolf. And we always want as many people as possible, but I've been able to sort of make a career and support myself at an amazing place like Topgolf, based on using the Topgolf balls and using the Topgolf technology and using their mats and everything like that. So, not a lot of stuff on the cons. I think the biggest con is just sort of marketing myself and getting enough exposure to sort of let people know that we do give lessons there and are able to, work in the bay to do whatever we need to do. That'd probably be the thing that I've failed at the most. But at the same time, I haven't really had to work super hard on that because I've been relatively busy since I've started there, going on 3 years now with them. So, yeah.
And being on this show, this is the way to I'm marketing you, okay?
Yeah, sure.
If you can't tell, hey, I got your logo. I got your new logo right here.
Yeah.
I got your website.
Logo up. Yeah,
I got your website down at the bottom.
Yeah, it's a crude website. I used a snowstorm to put it together. It's just really another avenue to help people get in contact with me. Not really looking to sort of turn anything into a business per se. So, a lot of it's really only got my email address and phone number on there so that people can contact me. Once they contact me, then I'm going to go ahead and schedule them to come into Topgolf to do lessons, stuff like that. So, it's doing some podcasts like this, getting to know a lot of the other pros in town, being able to sort of invite them into Topgolf, get them to bring their teams in, get them to bring some of their students in, and sort of help me foster some relationships where, I can do some playing lessons at other courses, and I can, help them out, and they help me out, and it's really, really gotten pretty good in the last couple of years. I consider myself very lucky to have met all these people. So.
Now, would you say, as being here in San Antonio, would you say San Antonio, amongst the pros, the teaching pros, and the people that are in this golf industry, would you say for the most part, everybody's been real friendly and hospitable? Because I'm always curious, because that's something, and I know as before I started the podcast, I'm always wondering, and I hear people say, "Oh, I can get on that course," because hey, we have a code. Hey, I can get on that course, or I can get on that course. And I was like, well, shit, I can't get on that course. And I'm like, I just want to know, do y'all have like an unspoken kind of rule, or does a call need to be made?
We have a private Facebook group that we don't let anybody who's not a golf pro in.
Hey, can you just let me hop on for,
Actually, it's an idea. We don't have one of those, but maybe we should.
Damn, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Let me be an admin. Let me be an admin on that.
Yeah. So, just generally within the golf industry, right? There's a lot of reciprocation that goes on between courses. And since I've never really been at a course, I was never really privy to a lot of that. But, being at Topgolf and really needing to have some courses to go do playing lessons and stuff at, when my clients progress to that point, sort of necessitated that I start to reach out and create some of these connections. And man, I wish I would have done it 10 years ago. I'm not going to lie. These people are amazing. There isn't a golf pro in town that I have a bad thing to say about.
Damn, that's not what I want to hear, dude. I want to hear the juice. I need the juice, man. This show is run on chisme and juice and gossip. This is what fuels this damn podcast.
Ask better questions, brother. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, all right. I got one right here. I think I'm going to murder the last name. It's James Anaya, maybe. What are your rates for your lesson?
If Anaya, I had to guess.
Thank you. Anaya. All right, tomato. What?
Come on, Torres, you got this,
bro. I'm the worst. I'm the worst Mexican that you'll ever meet, dude. I am. I'm bad. All I know is I know how to. I know how to order a beer. I know how to ask where the bathroom is. I know how to order food, and I call bingo, so I know all my numbers. I know money. hey, I can add up money. Tell me, 10, cinco. You say, hey, I know my numbers, and then I know how to. Hey, I know how to communicate just a little bit. Just when I'm drunk, when I'm drunker, oh man, when I'm drunk enough, my Spanish is like nice, bro. It's nice. So what are your rates, bro? So what are your rates?
So it's $90 an hour for adult lessons.
Oh.
Yeah, but here's the good thing is it gets cheaper whenever you buy more than one lesson at a time, right? So buying one lesson at a time is the most expensive way to do it. But those rates will run essentially anywhere between like 90 and 65-ish an hour, depending on the size of the package for adults. And then for juniors, it runs 59 down to around 35 or so an hour. So the rates are very, very standard. I don't think they're bad at all. I think for the quality of the information and the amount of time we get to work on things, pretty good rate, in my opinion.
Well, I do think that one of the big pros I do think in being at Topgolf is, it doesn't matter. Hey, what is it? Rain, snow, or shine. Hey, you're always on. It's always going to be. Hey, this is locked in. Mm-hmm. Don't matter what the weather is. If it's ugly out, hey, it's always beautiful there inside. And so
pretty much
you do
for the most part. We did get shut down by a snowstorm last week, but short of that, we got heaters. And we're undercover, so as long as we're not in a tornado or a literal snowstorm, as long as people can drive to get there, I can get there to give lessons. And the majority of my clientele right now are sort of in long-term packages with me. I think everyone can agree that going to the gym one time is not really going to help you out very much. Going to the gym twice is not going to help you out very much. There has to be sort of consistent guided work over time to make progress in the long term. And I sort of someone buys 10 lessons, I just pre-schedule them out for all 10 lessons right there, and then we can move things down the road if they need to. But I think getting people on a schedule and getting them sort of comfortable and consistent with a time and a routine helps the process a lot. Rather than just saying, okay, go practice, hit me up whenever you need more help. That's not in your students' best interest. So, they're still adults. They can make up their own minds and their own decisions with how they want to do things. But I'm just going to tell them from a professional standpoint, my opinion is we need more consistency.
So I look at it as being a golfer. I look at it and running a golf podcast. I look at it as I walk into Topgolf. My wife, when Topgolf was made, my wife was like, "Oh, you're going to be there all the time." And after the first couple times, I was like, "I'm going to run out of money at this rate," Mm-hmm. And so there's two types of golfers I think that go into Topgolf. You have, or three, maybe even three. You have that one golfer that is new to the sport, and then you have that one golfer that. Hey, I golf occasionally. No, I'm not going to take my clubs. I'm just going to use whatever's there. And then you have like the douchebags like me who come in, wearing their tiger red polo, black pants, coming with the golf bag, coming with all the gear.
You have all your iron covers on.
Okay, bro. I do not. I have Rowdy's really one. I have a little sock for, the hybrids because I don't want them banging up against the other clubs. And that's about it, I have no respect for guys that have all the damn iron covers. I have no respect. I'm saying it here on the podcast.
You can point them out real quick. They got, $4,000 bag worth of golf clubs, and they got those $20 iron covers from Walmart on top of their irons. It's the funniest stuff.
All right. So, So which is the majority of the golfer you see that walk in? Just that recreational one, or really some people that are coming in to try to get some work?
Yeah, really like 80% of the golfers that come to Topgolf aren't even golfers per se. They don't consider themselves to do golf or play golf in any sort of recreational fashion. That's like 80% of them. And then 15% of what's left are the guys that do enjoy golf, but might work, might have family, whatever. They play one or two scramble tournaments a year, but don't really work on their game at all. And then that last 5% are basically your real golfers, the avid golfers. The National Golf Foundation says that an avid golfer averages around 25 rounds a year, which is twice a month. And those are the people that are really supporting a lot of the industry. Those are the people that are the real diehard, I'm playing golf with all of my free time sort of people. And those are the people that I like reaching out to, and those are the people that I like to encourage to come into Topgolf, because those are honestly the people that with the free time that they do have, they're going to go to the range or they're going to go play golf at the golf course. And I love golf at the golf course and golf at the range too, but a complimentary alternative is Topgolf, and I like to encourage that. It is a little expensive if you come there by yourself to rent the bay, but when you come there with 4 or 5 friends and you all split the bay time, it's really not that bad. Food and drinks are amazing there. Almost everything is cooked fresh. They have a full chef team in the kitchen. It's just like a hotel or a high-end restaurant. It's the food, the menu's great, drinks are great. I don't have enough good things to say about it.
But Mike, that's the problem. The food's great, the drinks are great, and you only want more, man. That's the damn problem, man. You can't go and just say, I'm only gonna have one. And what's that damn drink? I don't know if it's still on the menu, but I think it's like a big bowl, and they serve you with little golf straws. I don't know. It's a huge ass drink.
There was one called the golf bag.
That's the one I like. Do they have
like 2 people to order it or something?
Yeah, but my wife and I would order it, but I'd be the only one drinking it, and I'd have like 4 of those.
Yeah, that's saucy.
Oh yeah, man. Shoot, my wife was just said like, she's like, man, you are the man I married whenever you have 4 of those.
Yeah, Rowdy.
That's my Instagram handle, Rowdy Torres.
Rowdy shows up. Rowdy comes out.
He does, man. All right, and then Joaquin, he's the owner of Isla Bruin Street. Him and his brother, Joaquin Pena. He said Coconut Crew, my man, right there. He's from Corpus too, So
right on.
He looks real Mexicano. Probably doesn't speak a lick of damn Spanish.
Yeah, but the beer's good though.
Bro, okay. All right, shit you not. Maya and I, we're trying to support one of our bros, and which we do, and we'll get here. We're coming up to it right now, which we try to show love to all our bros who have their own endeavors and their own things. And you know what? My 4 bros, and you're one of them, and my good buddies have all been like great ambassadors for my podcast, and they've helped me grow at leaps and bounds, right? Well, shoot, Joaquin, one of the owners of Isla Bruin Street, he makes this freaking he makes this red beer. He makes this red beer and he makes a blue beer. Mm-hmm. And Jeremiah's like, hey, let's support Joaquin. Let's go have fun a case. I said, oh shoot, yeah. Well, shoot, man. I'm not a craft beer guy. I drink beer for the active lifestyle. I drink a Michelob Ultra. I can drink. It's water. All right. It's flavored water. And I like Ziegenbach. I like Shinerbach when I'm getting a little, when I want to just spice things up a little bit. Well, my wife and I during the quarantine were like, hey, let's drink some of the Rojo beer. And so we pop it open, and you know what? To my dismay, that is some damn good shit. I was like, okay, I found one craft beer I can freaking drink. Mm-hmm. I found one. Well, there's 2. I like the Azul. We like the Azul too.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Don't have that good things.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Because whenever I go to a craft beer place, I'm always like, which beer is like Bud Light? And they always tell me.
Don't go to craft beer places anymore, Andy.
Well, what's one that I go to? What I used to go to was a road.
They don't like
map.
your kind.
Yeah, they don't like my kind. They don't like my kind. I just go. I just try to sip on a beer. Yeah, I am. I'm that Bud Light guy. Or hey, like they don't like my kind. They're like, oh, drink this one, and they give me like the most like stout ass stink beer. And they do it on purpose.
I love it, man.
All right, so tell me, favorite course here in town?
It's a toss up between Oak Hills and the Oaks TPC.
Why? Why are those two courses kind of set apart from the others?
They're the two most challenging courses, in my opinion, two of the most challenging courses that I've played in town. And then beyond the fact that they're just truly live. I love it. I love it. My man. I can get down.
He's all about that. I don't like Trulies either. I don't like Trulies. I don't like them. I'm not there. I'm not there yet.
I'll crush some Trulies. I'm a big fan of pretty much liquor and soda, anything. I make a lot of like deep eddies and soda drinks at my own house. So I'm a big fan.
You like that combo. You like that combo.
Yeah. I think those courses are both really, really, really well designed. They are really tough and challenging, and I like golf courses that sort of kick my butt a little bit, in a fair way. So, plus their greens, I think are some of the best greens in town, both places.
Now, I've had two opportunities to play at Oak Hills, and it is a country course, Oak Hills Country Course. And I know they used to, years back, they used to have the AT&T Men's Senior open there.
Mm-hmm.
That was, at now or before they did away with it. It was, hey, the Valero was on the Oaks, and the AT&T Men's Senior, championship was at the Canyons course, right?
Right.
And so, and before then, it was at Oak Hills. And so
yeah.
I've been invited. You got to be invited, or you got to be, a guest of somebody, right, to play.
Right.
And the two times I've been invited to play, it's like the night before. I got stuff on the menu the next day. My marriage is on the line.
Clear it, bro. You need to go.
Someone's depending. They're like, hey, I need a fourth. Hey, coach, I got a spot for you. And I'm just like,
sorry about it.
Well, one time it was just I had a family engagement, and really I said, hey, my wife, I never have to change for her. So what you see is what you get. The way I act with you and the guys, that's the way I act at home, if not worse. So my wife knows exactly what she married, and she's a freaking saint, and she lets me go and play, and she lets me be rowdy, right?
Love it.
And so that was one time. The other time, we were in Vegas, and we were leaving the next day. And one of my buddies calls and said, hey, coach, I got a spot for you, but it's an 8:30 tee time. And so I'm thinking, I'm telling my wife, I said,
I can change my flight.
I was like, do you think I can? I told him, I said, hold the spot for me. I'm not out just yet. Right.
Yeah.
Yet. And so I'm telling her, I said, do you mind if I leave really late tonight and you leave tomorrow without me? Are you cool with that? And she's like, nah, dog, it's not good. And I said,
not happening.
Yeah. And so I got invited two times.
I got really lucky. A few years ago, I was teaching. I taught a couple of people who were members there. I was lucky enough to go play out there a few times. It's been a while since I've been out there, but I'm sure the course is still in great shape and still as good as I remember it.
Oh, and then the Oaks, man. Jeremiah and we played in a 2-man event there last year for the Golf Fellowship, and we're going to play in it again this year. Man, that course just ate us up. Yeah, I love it. It's so challenging. It's such a challenging course. And but like you stated, and I think that's as I've gotten better in this game of golf, I think that's what a course like the courses like the Hyatt, especially their Oaks course, there at the Hyatt. Those 9 holes, it makes you think, man. And that's why that day we played out there, I was like, no, let's go to the Oaks. Let's go to the Oaks because again, it really makes you think. And it's about ball placement and where you want that next shot to be coming from.
Yeah, I on my day-to-day courses here in town, I definitely kind of my favorites are kind of the lofty courses there. But my day-to-day, man, I really do love the Hyatt. They got 27 holes out there. Course is always in pretty good shape. They do a great job at keeping things together there. One of my really good friends, Ashley Skidmore, is head pro or director of golf or something out there. She got the big office. She runs it all. she's a fantastic individual. Um, and she's always very welcoming and having me out. So basically, the whole time I was actually furloughed through COVID, I was maintaining a lot of my relationships with my clients by meeting them at the golf course and going to play golf. And Ashley was a big part in sort of helping facilitate that for me and sort of keep me working a little bit and keep me active during that whole furlough. Forever indebted to them for that. And I was able to sort of keep a lot of the clients going and progressing and playing golf. And it was a nice couple month little break from sort of the day to day in the Bay. And I really like the courses at Hyatt. I've gained a lot more respect for sort of the variety and the challenging parts of that golf course for sure.
And that's great, man. And I think that's just a testament to I think the people in the city and in the industry here in town is that y'all are always kind of take care of each other. And I think a lot of it, from like I stated, from what I see from the outside, is that y'all have a lot of common courtesy. It's kind of like a big network. It's y'all really do just want to see this game growing. And right now the game is growing at freaking leaps and bounds, especially here in town.
Yeah, it's the game's always been. I got reamed for saying this on Facebook the other day, but I don't care. The game of golf itself has always been very exclusive, in my opinion. Historically, the game is skewed very male, very upper class, very private, and those are some of the things about golf that I had never really cared for. I think. I'm on board with making golf as easy as possible. So like having rules that are super easy to understand and follow, the easiest way possible to make scoring possible, to make a play possible. I'm on board with it. If you want to use a freaking shovel to putt with, I don't care. If everyone can do it, great. Let's make golf as fun and as open and as inviting for everyone as possible. Conversely, really sticky attire rules and really sticky sort of etiquette rules that have sort of been very commonplace in the past are kind of moving out the door. We don't have to show up with a top hat and a suit vest or anything on anymore. Thank God. Obviously, my favorite parts about golf have always been, the integrity and the gamesmanship and just sort of the camaraderie of being outside and being competitive in sort of a gentlemanly way, if you will. And that's always been my favorite parts about golf. My least favorite has been the exclusivity of the history. And I think the more inclusive we're making it and the more we're opening the door for people to come in, and that we're making golf a little bit cheaper, we're making the courses a little bit shorter. I think those are all great things. And I think it's causing golf to grow a lot right now. I can play 4 hours of golf and never come in contact with another human being. That's great. I can yell at you from the other side of the golf course and you won't get COVID. So, we're 20 yards away. We're good to go. I think that's going to be really big here in the coming years. So,
well, I've said this before on my show, and it's kind of like a constant, especially since this COVID has occurred. And again, this is what COVID did was it allowed me to venture out to guys like you, because that's what I did. I made contact with guys like you and a good amount of the guests that I've had on the show. And sure. This streaming service has made it so much easier for me to be in contact with people, because before I used to do everything on site. I used to lug mics, all my equipment, my computer, laptop, and it made it so hard, especially with people's schedules. Because I'm sure as being a pro and a teaching pro, man, like if you ain't working, you're not making money. Right. So you're always, as a pro and a teaching professional, hey, right. you got an open spot, you're trying to fill that open spot. Am I right? Mm-hmm. And so it was always hard to kind of to work around someone's schedule, and especially being a teacher and being a coach and being a husband, a father of two, and working a second job. And so like like this has made it really easy, and it made it really fun because I'm able to connect with so many people, and
Sure.
it's been awesome. And one thing I saw the other day, or for the past couple of days, this guy had posted a question on Facebook in the San Antonio Golfers Facebook group. He posted a question about like kind of like the COVID golfer or something of that nature, right? And it, maybe not per se those words, but in reference to all the people being on the courses and how long it's taking to play and this, that, and the other. And there was like 69 freaking comments. Don't get me wrong. I tried to be like, I'm listening, and I am. And that's what this show's for too. This show's to try to help people to get past those feelings, the game, the exclusiveness of the game, the ugly air, the ugly, aura it has around it. And, I'm really trying to help people, hey, feel comfortable to walking into the damn clubhouse, feeling okay to understand what are you asking for. Hey, do you want to play 9? Do you know what Twilight is? Or, hey, what happens if somebody wants to play Wolf or Nassau, and you're like, I don't know what those are, and so I'm really trying to help people kind of be in the know, inform themselves, and just, maybe not sound like so much of an idiot, or, if they have questions, that's what this podcast and that's what my website is really for, just an open forum. Well, I responded in there saying, you know what? Hey, it's not, this game's not going anywhere. This is a growth. It's a boom. We're going to have to get used to it. Right. And then I'm reading the comments because it's such a topic, a sensitive topic where it's really tapping people. And one guy says, hey, I pay the same. I want to get, my money's worth. And I'm like, I hate it. I hate it when people say that shit. I hate it. Yeah. I hate it when they say that.
Yeah. Your money's worth is essentially par, right?
or for those guys, bogey. Or for those guys, bogey.
That's what we're shooting for. Taking 20 shots per hole is not getting your money's worth. It's making everyone else's day much worse. But it is what it is. Everyone's going to have their own different opinions. Some people are going to be happy more people are coming. Some people are going to be mad that their course that they play all the time is getting busier and busier. But I think that's only a good thing. That's going to help get more people in the game, help keep courses around, help people sort of in our industry, maintain jobs and maintain livings, and bring it on. I love it.
I do, and again, you kind of look at, and I think at being at a facility like you and having an instructor like you, because you're pretty easygoing, but super informative, super knowledgeable of the game. I think, having guys like you and hey, maybe that's an idea, teaching people that the rule etiquettes of golf, or teaching them, adult clinics. What do you think? There you go.
I'm in it. We'll do it.
All right. So you got a big event coming, and of course it had to change due to the weather. You got a big event coming up at Topgolf. All right. And let's see, I'm going to have a little picture of it right here. Why don't you tell all the listeners just a little bit about your event right here?
Yeah. So we have a virtual golf tournament. So we have, like I was saying, using the Top Tracer technology, we're able to actually play golf courses virtually. So you hit the ball out into the range, it tracks the ball flight, and then you can watch the ball played on a digital course on the screen. So we have a few different courses on there. We were supposed to kind of run the very first one. I had never actually done it before, but it was sort of one of the parts of Topgolf that I wanted to exploit a little bit more. I thought that it was a really cool idea to try to run sort of a real tournament and have people play on this virtual course. So, this very first one, I kind of only marketed it to, some San Antonio area golfers, my friends, current clients, people like that. I didn't really go too far outside those zones. But I kind of had this idea, right, that, if I want 50 people to show up for something, I need to figure out how to contact and tell 500 people about it, right? So, using Facebook, using some basic, avenues of connecting and reaching out to people, we're able to get, 40, 50 people sort of semi-committed or are mainly set up to come in and do it. Now we had once in a century snowstorm the week it was supposed to happen. Of course, it would happen. Perfect timing.
On your night, right?
So we moved it out. We moved it out 2 weeks. Correct. Yeah. So it's just going to be 9 holes. We're probably going to be there for 2.5 or 3 hours. So it's essentially 2.5 or 3 hours being able to hit balls in the bay and hang out for $29 a golfer. I think excellent value. You're not paying any additional amount for bay time. You're not paying anything. It's just for the whole tournament, $29. We are only going to play 9 holes because it starts at 6:30. I think playing 18 holes, it would go way too late into the night. But I really just want it to be sort of a casual, fun, semi-competitive tournament. Kind of dip my toe into that water and kind of see how that goes. And if we get enough people liking it, we can start to make a little crew of people who play all the time and make a little league out of it, or do something special and kind of grow it a little bit more. But definitely, we have the technology, we have the resources, I have the place to do it. Why not try to set something like that up? And I'm also looking really forward to sort of networking with more of the avid golfers in town. Those are the main people that I reached out to. Some of the San Antonio golf groups, stuff like that on Facebook, just to try to get the guys that do spend their time and money going to golf courses and going to other tournaments, giving them an alternative during the week or after work, where they can come in for a couple hours and have some fun.
Well, one of my good buddies, it doesn't say it on there, but I see it over here. It's Jeff Young, and I don't know if you know who Jeff Young is.
Oh yeah,
hey,
I've known Jeff for years.
Hey, awesome dude, man. He's a great guy. He works out there.
Smoke the golf.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Absolute missile.
Yes, man. And you know what? And I'm like, I played with him at the Republic.
He's a lefty though, right?
Yes, he's a lefty, man. But hey, he can bomb. He can bomb, man. He can bomb. He's a great player. All right. Hopefully he's not listening to that part. He's a freaking stud. Well, okay. So this is Jeff Young. He says he agrees on the 9 hole. And I totally do too, especially when you had us out there the other day and we were playing with freaking Corey. Like he was address Odie. I don't know if you saw a text from Odie. Odie had timed how long he stood over the ball. And Odie, I mean, not Odie, Jeremiah. Jeremiah had timed him for how long he took. And it was like a minute and change. A minute and change he was over the ball.
That's Sergio Bethpage, yeah.
All right. Okay. The lighter side of golf, favorite golf movie?
100% Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah. Favorite character outside of Happy? Did I get you there?
It's somewhere between. My favorite character in that movie is probably Ben Stiller as the.
Hey, you can have a nice warm glass of shut the hell up.
You're in my house now. Yeah.
Can I have a warm glass of milk? It helps me sleep better. You could have a nice warm glass of shut the hell up.
Yeah. That'd probably be my favorite character in that movie.
Awesome movie. Favorite PGA player?
Ooh. Tour player?
Tour player, yes, sir.
Well, my whole life it's been Tiger. But we're just going to assume that we're not going to go with the cliche answer. I had to say Tony Finau. I've been on the Finau bandwagon for a long time.
I love him, man. I love him. He's such a cool cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been watching him since he was on Big Break. Way back.
Thank you. Him
and his brother. Yeah.
Yeah, Kip. Mm-hmm. That was one of my favorites because that was at Disney, and that was at Disney, and I got to play there in the Magnolia course at Disney, and it was awesome. Again, this is why I'm still married, bro. I mean, I'm married. I mean, besides my wife being freaking smoking hot, and cool as hell,
I'll kick your coverage there.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, all the time. I know it. And my girls, they had like a princess makeover, hair day and makeup, right? My wife and my 2 daughters. And my wife's like, hey, I got you around of golf while we go do this. And I'm just like,
Bet.
oh hell, like damn, like you are the best, right? So, but check this out. I go all the way to freaking Florida, right? I go to Orlando, right?
Mhm.
And they pair me up with 3 other guys from Texas. And I'm just like, I was like, damn, ain't this some shit? You know, like these guys, 2 guys were from Houston, 1 guy was from Dallas. And
Love
it was
it.
just like, man, this is some damn shit. Well, okay, so we're playing the front 9. We go in to get a bite to eat, and there's a freaking like thunder and lightning, because you know how it is in Florida. It's always freaking damn raining, right?
Yep. Just wait
And,
20 minutes.
well, see, that's what we're hoping for, right? Well,
Mhm.
shoot, that damn 20 minutes turned into 2 hours.
Okay.
And these guys that I'm there with, they're like, hey, we got to go back to our families too. So I don't know about you. He's like, you can go in and take off, buddy, but we're gonna have us some lulings, and we're gonna sit it, and we're gonna wait this thing out. And I said,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm right with you, guy.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, but Tony
I'm glad.
Finau, hey, big break. He was cool as hell, man. I spoke
Mhm.
to him the last time he was here at the Valero. Super cool ass guy. And
Yeah.
what do you know? Hey, his favorite golf movie was Tony Finau. I mean, his favorite Tony Finau's favorite golf movie was Happy Gilmore. You know, and so
Right on.
yeah, he was super cool. Cool ass
Yeah.
dude. Graham McDowell, a freaking dickhead. Graham McDowell, that guy can eat a fat one. He walked right by me like, okay. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna bash you every chance I get.
Well, now you have a podcast, so
That's only here in Texas, though. Only here in South Texas. All right.
Yeah.
Last thing. Who are you playing your final round of golf with?
Tiger.
Tiger?
Sure. Why not?
What do you think? What do you think about all
No one
that?
no one in my family really plays golf. Am I like, am I assuming that if it was someone who doesn't play golf who I just love a lot, I'd go with my dad or my twin brother.
Well, you don't have to. Hey, it's who you want to play with. I mean, I got some sentimental choices. I got people saying freaking, anybody in the world. What do you think about Tiger's accident today? I know we saw his glassy eyes the other day, and I saw some of your comments on Facebook. So, are those the looking eyes? Are those the looking eyes you put earlier?
Yeah, we see you. We see you, Ted. Yeah, why not? Last round, Tiger was the most legend of all legends. Why not?
So, but what do you think? Besides that, what do you think of his chances of coming back from this, or what occurred?
In all reality, it wouldn't be the hardest thing he's ever come back from. So I think he's done it before. I think he has the template. He's got the roadmap. Maybe he just wanted a real easy reason to not play the Masters this year. Who knows? Maybe he just got distracted. Maybe it was just a case of distracted driving. You never know. No reason to speculate, but I'm sure he'll come back from it.
And you know what? He was in the midst of playing with. He had just played with Dwayne Wade, David Spade one day, and he was actually on his way, because everyone's like, oh, he was probably drunk, high, he's on those meds or whatever. And I'm like, it's 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. over there, and I'm like, maybe he's not on something. Maybe he could be coming off something,
Yeah,
and could be coming off something. Well, he was supposed to have another round with Drew Brees, Justin, I think his name's Herbert, the quarterback for the Chargers, and he was supposed to do a photo shoot. It was part of a few days of golf and photo shoots and photo ops from Oprah, right? Like this whole thing that Oprah and her company is producing, and so his agent and stuff. What I find it weird is that I'm not hearing about this until I say maybe like 1:30, close to 2:00, and this happened at like 7 something in the morning, right there in by outside Ponte Vedra, and they said his agent, everybody, promoter, or his his manager or whatever, that they couldn't find him. They couldn't hear anything about him, and like they said, he never misses meetings. He's never late, and like he
He
wasn't
was down there for
responding
a
on his
while
phone.
before someone found him.
Yes, that's what I'm wondering. You know, like we're not hearing about this until freaking like till 1:30 in the afternoon. I mean, when
Sure.
God rest his soul, when Kobe Bryant died, I mean, we heard about that fairly quick in essence, right? And it's just like, you know, Tiger Woods, and they're like saying a single car rollover, like, okay, single car rollover, that was on him, you know, like it's on him.
Yeah. I'm sure there's nothing too dubious about it. Like you were saying, I don't think the time of day or anything like that seemed to be too suspect. It might have just could have been as simple as distracted driving or something. I don't know. Don't want to speculate on nationally syndicated show here.
All right, Mike. Do you have any questions for me?
No. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Really appreciate you having me on. It's been a blast. First podcast I've ever done. I hope I didn't ramble on too much.
No, man. Hey, I have a lot of comments. Everyone keeps saying you're a beaut. I was like, you're a beauty. You're a beauty.
Ooh, that's a first.
I know, right?
That's a first. I'll take it. I'll take it. Don't say anything else.
Stop right there.
Stop while you're ahead. Yep.
Well, Mike, I appreciate you, and you know what? The big question, the real last thing I have is Topgolf, is it real golf?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people, you know, like I said, they put it next to putt. In your eyes, obviously you're a professional. It's real golf.
Yeah. Short of I don't walk out on the field and putt, but you know, in my opinion, it's as close as you can possibly get. The complimentary alternative. I think that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it does. You know, you get to scratch that itch a little bit, and I do think that new technology that y'all really have added to the course, because that makes me want to go out there. Because I was getting tired of playing all those damn little. I say weak games y'all got, but once y'all put that course on there, it made it freaking badass, and I'm looking forward to March 4th on Thursday, March 4th, your event.
The big target games and the big Topgolf games out there that kind of like, you know, originated with the company. I think a lot of those were, you know, really designed with your recreational or your standard customer that comes in mind. Want to make it really easy, and all the targets are 50 or 60 yards wide. And but you know, to real golfers, I think some of those games do sometimes a little bit boring. And adding in the virtual golf courses, I think have sort of changed the game. So if nothing else, Topgolf is its own thing, and it is a complimentary alternative to going to a golf course. You could be in and out of there, play a full round in a few hours, and you know, not have to trek out to a course, get clubs out, you know, tire yourself out. But also do a lot of like corporate events and stuff like that, where instead of running on course all day long, scramble charity tournaments, we can do the same thing in house. Have all the food done, have everyone taken care of all day long. You know, those events tend to bring in a lot more people who aren't like actual golfers. Whereas if you took those people to a regular golf course, they wouldn't survive one hole, right? So,
that's true. You're giving a lot of people that might not be able to survive that 404 par 4 that dogs to the left, you know, with water, you know, with water, you know, hanging over.
The biggest reason people quit golf is frustration, and a big reason for that is one, they play golf courses that are way out of their skill level, and two, they don't have enough of a knowledge base to understand how to organize information in a way that's applicable to them and will help make them better in the long run, right? So it's kind of like me going on WebMD and with no medical background and trying to sift through a list of things based on symptoms and then diagnose myself and then figure out which medicine I need and then how much of it I need and how often I need to take it, right? It's not just as simple as do this, do that, and it works. There's a lot of fine tuning involved. So, you know, being able to have a better idea of what's important and what's not important is really pivotal to helping you down a good path rather than sort of toiling and going in circles all the time and tying yourself in knots like most people tend to do. So,
well, Mike,
make it easier.
Once again, I think that's what you do for your clients and your students, and
Yep.
the people there at Topgolf. I think you make it easier for them. And
Yep.
if you want to reach out to Mike, he's at www.sagolfpro.com, and also you can reach him on Instagram. Hit him up at San Antonio Golf Pro. All right.
Yep.
Hey guys, if you have any questions for Mike, hey, right there, his website's on here. I'm going to make sure to put it in the show notes and also put some of your contact info in there. They can reach out to you. Also, don't forget, Mike's big event is March 4th, Thursday at Topgolf. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there. So, hey, I'm making some changes in my normal schedule just for you. I did the show on a Tuesday. I'm doing it next week on a Tuesday. So, because I'm going to be there Thursday. All right.
Yeah. So you can, if you do want to come to that event, if you have a Facebook, hop on Facebook. I have an event page up for it. That's going to be sort of my baseline document. It's going to kind of export my guest list for the people that are coming to that. If you don't have a Facebook and you'd like to participate, you can email me at mike@sagolfpro.com or go to any of my social media sites and shoot me a message, and I'll get you on the books.
And I'll make sure also too, when I shoot this out, when I put this on YouTube, when I chop it up a little bit, I'll make sure to put that event on there as well.
Love it.
All right. Hey,
cool, man.
I just want to know one thing. Why did you choose to become a 4-bro?
Oh man, you know what? Hold on 1 second before I answer that. Give me 1 second.
I was like, I'm curious. I want to know why Mike, this guy, this pro, the director of instruction, and I'm really asking this for all my 4-bros. There you go. Let's see.
It's because of the cool merchandise.
The merch.
Yeah.
The merch right there.
Like that.
There you go. That's thing. All right, my man right there.
She's a beaut.
There it is right there.
No, right. You guys are all great, man. I've always sort of wanted a group of guys to go play golf with, and I know I teach golf, but I have a 6-year-old, really busy life outside of work and outside of golf, and I don't play as much as I want to. So, sort of joining a group of guys like you who want to play all the time and they're just absolute golf fiends sort of makes my blood run a little bit more. It makes me want to do it a little bit more often, and plus you guys are all degenerates like me, so I love it. Fit that very well together.
Hey man, you're swinging below the belt, but I like it.
It's a compliment, baby.
All right. Compliment. Well, hey Mike, well thanks, man, and we appreciate having you at the group. We appreciate your friendship, and man, thanks for what you're doing for the game of golf here in San Antonio, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
All right, man. You have a good night, brother.
Later.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Mike's such a cool-ass dude. Make sure you hit him up at www.sagolfpro.com. And don't forget, guys, Carlos, CJ, and like to drink. That's you, CJ. I'm, in the words of Jeremiah, I'm a good Christian man, okay? I'm a good Christian man. I don't do stuff like that. I'm a Catholic school teacher, okay? I mold young minds. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you want to listen to anybody here in town or you're curious about a place, whatever, please hit me up on Facebook. It is NothingisOB, South Texas Golf Podcast, or you can hit me up on my personal page, Andy Torres. I am also on Instagram at NothingisOB. Also, my personal page is Rowdy Torres. If you didn't get it, I'm a proud graduate of San Antonio. All right, guys, don't forget, please hit me up on my iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, all the different types of social media networks and audio formats. Please help me to grow this game, to get this podcast out there. I love this game of golf. I love San Antonio, the city of San Antonio. It's been so good to my family and I. And this game of golf, it's a great time right now. It's a great time to be a golfer. It's just booming. We get such a peace of mind to be out there and know that we're doing it in a safe conditions, a safe way. And, it's awesome. It's a great time. We got some great courses here. And I think I'm heading that direction. I think I'm really trying to break the big stigma of of how golf is being played, and that San Antonio is a destination site for some great badass golf amenities, the nightlife. I mean, especially during the COVID time, the restaurants. And I'm thankful for everybody for tuning in. I really do. Thank you for helping me get this stuff out. We're trying to put some good things out there, trying to put some good work. And like I said, thank you for your participation in, making NothingisOB, a podcast that's only growing. Remember, in the game of life, nothing is OB. Y'all have a good night.